Let's look at vacancy rates. Vacancy rates basically tell us the number of vacant, it's a measure of vacant properties that are available to rent in a particular suburb. The way you calculate it is basically you've got 200 properties in a suburb and 4 of them are vacant, then the vacancy rate is 2%, and here's a formula how you can calculate that. But what you got to take away from it is this: generally a 3% vacancy rate is normal, and greater than 4%, that means that suburb is a no-go zone. Don't go into that suburb. And the lower this figure, the lower the supply of rentable accommodation or higher demand for it, or both. So 2% is good, but anything less than 1% means that there will be a hike in rental prices very soon. So if you look at some rental data, this is reiv.com.au again. If you go back there, it talks about the current rental vacancy rate in Melbourne is about 2.8%. But then again, this is for all of Melbourne. So you've got to understand this would include everything from the inner city suburbs to outer suburbs, and it's just the overall picture. So if you ever wanted to find out for a specific suburb, there's a website that you can go to. But before we go there, I wanted to show you, this is residex.com.au, and they've got all sorts of reports that they sell, and investors, buyers, they're not free. You need to buy these reports off them, but they do have they do have a free suburb report. And this is like a suburb profile that many websites sell, but it's got a few different things. Now I've already got one out because it takes a little while to populate the report. This is for Berwick, and the only thing that I find really good about this report is this data here. I don't find this data in any of the free resources that we've got, which is basically something telling me the total number of properties in a suburb. It also tells me estimated time on market of properties, which is basically days on market, days on the market, and it gives me a really good idea of the total number of properties there. It also talks about the total number of streets. Where did that go? Just one second, I had it somewhere where it talks about the total number of streets in the suburb. Here. So that gives you a good idea of the depth of the suburb, and I usually from a snapshot I don't really get that, but if you really wanted to dig deeper, this data here is a good data, because it tells you exactly the total number of property, the total number of stock that's actually can be available in the market in that suburb. So let's look at this. This is a site called boomapp.com.au, and I will get into more detail on this app, but for the time being we're just looking at the vacancy rate for Berwick dwelling type houses, and we are just looking at the vacancy rate there, which is 2%, which is normal. So that's about vacancy rates.